Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Purva, for those inspiring words. I almost feel like climbing the mountain myself, and I'm sure some of you here felt that too. So here I am talking today about how science can save your marriage. And in the interest of the youngsters at the back, how science can help your upcoming relationships and the relationships you're in today. Be it with your teachers, be it with your girlfriends and boyfriends, or even with your parents. Have you considered what's the number one reason why people separate? Why do relationships not work out? The number one reason for people to separate is incompatibility. What is incompatibility? Two opposing forces that just cannot coexist. A neat person and an untidy person. But here's the joke. Opposites attract. So you are always set up for incompatibility. You are meant to be in a relationship that's incompatible because it's the law of magnetism that you came together. But the problem is that we expect our relationships to look like this. But when they actually look like this. Let me tell you a little bit about me. So I found my partner about 14 years ago. And when people asked me then, what do you like about him? I said he's a charmer. Wherever he goes, he wins people's hearts. He knows how to keep his friendships, but yet he's cool, calm, and collected. He has this peaceful wisdom that really attracts me. And that I grew really fond of, and I thought I could imbibe those qualities from him. Then marriage happened. And we disagreed about everything. We disagreed about the way we work. We disagreed about how we handle our teams. We disagreed about how to raise our children. We disagreed about how to run the house. We disagreed about our relationship completely. To the extent that we did fantasize about separation ourselves. And I think most people do that in the early years of marriage. Then what changed for us? What changed for us is I discovered the science of personalities. And when we started dwelling into this subject, we realized what our strengths were, who we were as people, what did we need from each other, why do we react the way we do, what do we expect in general, what is our basic nature. That's when we realized that we were very different individuals. We were two separate individuals, and we had our own strengths and weaknesses, and we had our own needs. So today I'm going to share with you this very science, because it's powerful for you to take forward any relationship and make that relationship work. Oops. So essentially, there are 4 personalities. This science was first discovered by Hippocrates in 400 BC. Hippocrates then called it the 4 temperaments. And the 4 temperaments are essentially the 4 personalities that we are talking about. These are the inner personalities, who we are on the inside. This is our basic nature. The outside can look all beautiful, like I got my hair blow dried today, I put some makeup on, I bought some new shoes, and we're good to go. But the inside is the basic raw material of who we are, and we'll always react from what we are inside. So the first personality we're talking about today is the entertainer. And one thing to keep in mind is that we are all a combination of 2 or more personalities. So it's not just a single personality. We all have a blend. So today's first personality is the entertainers. These guys are the charmers, like my darling husband. They are full of life. They attract attention everywhere they go. Anywhere they are, they will be amongst people. Extremely curious. Like the other day, my mother-in-law and I were having a conversation and my husband called out from the other room, "Can you talk a bit louder? I can't hear you." They need to know everything, even if the topic is not about them. They are great on stage. They are great with people. But the few weaknesses that they have is they talk too much. They are storytellers. They never speak in facts. And if the story requires, they'll also sprinkle the facts with some extra mirch masala, as we call it in India. They'll make their story interesting and sometimes seem like exaggerators to other personalities. They're compulsive volunteers. They're the first people to put up their hand and say, yeah, I'll do it. And then they don't know how to complete that task. Like you can see this personality on screen, very colorful, flamboyant, full of life. And they're all about themselves. Main apni favorite too. So it's always me factor for them. I did this happened to me. It's all about that. These guys are usually in a relationship with our perfectionists. Let me first tell you a little bit about the entertainer's needs. What the entertainers need emotionally is a lot of unnecessary appreciation. Even if you don't mean it, give it to them. Even if it doesn't apply to them, if they're in their pajamas in the morning, you can still say, oh my God, you look amazing, and they'll take it. They need lots of hugs and kisses, lots of cuddles, and they need a lot of acceptance from their partners. But they're in a relationship with the perfectionist, who will only give you acceptance if you are perfect. Their motto in life is do things the perfect way. So I had this client who shared with me that when she met her husband, she was attracted to his ways of perfection, how organized he was, how meticulous he was. But then they went on their honeymoon, and she was eating an apple just like that. And he brought out a knife, he brought out a plate, he cut the apple into slices, and said, this is the way to eat it. And from there, it turned into a whole downturn or the down road from the hill of particularism. Very particular people, but they're trapped in this by themselves as well. They know that they're particular. They know that they yearn for perfection and how hard it is, but they expect it from the people in their life. They're analytical, they're deep thinkers, they're usually creative, they're artistic, they're philosophers, A.R. Rahman, Michelangelo, lots of artists there. Their weaknesses tend to include pessimism. They always move from the negative to the positive. They don't see the glass as half full, they always see it as half empty. And they're easily depressed. They're usually in a marriage with the entertainers or in a relationship with the entertainers who casually speak out their thoughts. And when they casually speak out their thoughts, the perfectionists are easily hurt and they hold on to that pain. Hence, you can see the incompatibility. So sometimes it literally does feel like you're sleeping with the enemy. The third personality today we're talking about is the controller. Like the word suggests, they want control. They're born leaders, they were born for leadership, they don't see the world any other way. They were meant to become a leader eventually. They're purposeful people, very strong, very powerful, like you can see this guy here. They are always goal-oriented. They were meant to be goal-oriented, productivity-oriented. They don't see the world any other way. They're unemotional. Only their tasks matter to them and nothing else matters. Workaholics, they don't know how to enjoy leisure time, relaxed time. They feel guilty if they take an afternoon nap. They also look manipulative to other people because they don't need people in their life. But if the job demands it, then yes, we need the people in our life. Hence, they tend to look manipulative. And they also tend to look bossy to others because they have this commanding authoritativeness about them. They demand that you listen to them because their motto in life is, do things my way right now. Their emotional needs include control. To feel emotionally happy, they want control. They want leadership opportunities, they want to be included in family decision-making, and they need credit and appreciation for the things they have done. They truly value loyalty. There is no gray area for them. It's black or white. You're with me or against me. The only person who can demotivate a controller is the controller himself. They're usually in a marriage with the peaceful souls. And this is our fourth personality for today. These guys are calm, cool, collected people. They can't handle conflict, so hence they will work really hard to bring stability in the environment they are in. They make for great arbitrators and mediators. They're usually reluctant to accept change. Change is very difficult for them, and they'll resist change to the extent that they love their constancy, and they will do anything and everything in their power to first deflect the new opportunity. They're not enthusiastic about new things. They like whatever is going on, let it go on. I had this client who was in a very terrible marriage, and I said, why don't you step out of it? She said, it's okay, chal raha hai, chalne do. Those are our peaceful souls. Let it just go on. They find very hard to take decisions, and they find it very hard to say no to people because they don't want to fall into a conflicting zone. Their emotional needs include peace and relaxation. Let things be easy. Don't create this hyper atmosphere around them. They want real loving motivation. They want to be included in affairs. They don't want to actually be responsible for it, just a minor inclusion, and get appreciation for the little things that they do. That's what they are looking for from their partners. These are some examples of this marriage, the controller to a peaceful soul. And this movie was a classic example of if you injure a peaceful soul's self-worth and self-respect, this is how they react. That's an emotional need for them. That single slap was enough to step out of the relationship. Just a quick idea of how these personalities usually come together, the controller with the peaceful souls, the entertainer with the perfectionist. So it's almost like the introverts will look for the extroverts, the task-oriented people look for the people-oriented people. Now, how does this all help us? This helps us to realize what are our key strengths. If I am the controller, then I know what I want. I like work. I like productivity. It helps me to realize that. It helps me to realize what are my weaknesses. I cannot relax. I don't appreciate people too much. I must work on those things. It also helps me to realize what my partner or the people I'm in a relationship with need from me. And it helps me be compassionate towards their weaknesses. Usually in a marriage, what we do is we focus on people's weaknesses because they are our areas of strength. So we feel this should come to them naturally, instead of focusing on our partner's strengths, because that's what actually helps us become the yin and yang. So if you are in a marriage of the entertainers to the perfectionists, here are a few things and easy things that you can do. One thing you need to realize about the perfectionists, what are their emotional needs? Their emotional needs include space. They're territorial people. They need their space. Don't go to their desk and pick up a pencil and leave it in the living room. In fact, don't touch that pencil at all. They like their space. They don't like people entering their space. And they need silence. Silence helps them re-energize, reboot, and actually feel happy. And they need stability. Financial, emotional, all kinds of stability. They don't like change because they're schedule-oriented people. Now, imagine you're the lady married, perfectionist lady married to an entertainer. The way this works is that you will totally and always be depressed because the entertainer doesn't value finances, planning, is not a detail-oriented person, and then hence there's constant conflict. I can see few people smiling. They figured out I am the entertainer and my wife is the perfectionist. So the perfectionist wife constantly feels the pressure of needing that stability, and she's not receiving it, hence she's constantly nagging. What you can do to maintain this relationship is, for the entertainers, you can realize that they find it very hard to fulfill their commitments. Now, the perfectionist will not leave the task until they take it through to the end. They want to see it to the last perfect detail. And our entertainers commit to everything but unable to finish the task. So help your partner. Help your partner complete that task without nagging. Don't say, see, I had to do this. You didn't do that. I had to do it. Because remember, they need appreciation. So even if they didn't do the task, say, oh my God, you did this so well. You will motivate the entertainer to do a little bit more instead of nagging. So here there's one story of this lady. She cleaned up the kitchen cabinet. And she went to her perfectionist husband and said, you know what, today I cleaned the kitchen drawer and it's looking so beautiful and I organized this and I organized that. And the husband didn't react because it's a daily chore. You can't every time say, wow, kitchen is clean. She stopped cleaning the kitchen at all. That's when he realized he has to compliment her and say, wow, the kitchen looks really clean. So then the drawing room looked clean, and then the living room, and then the bedroom, everything got cleaned up in the house. So they need that appreciation, and you have to help them to finish their task by appreciating, complimenting, and supporting them. Know that they don't mean to hurt you. They speak constantly without a moment's thought, and our perfectionists here always think about everything that they're going to say. They'll analyze it, they'll reanalyze it before they tell you anything. Our entertainers don't think like that. So our perfectionist darlings, please realize that your entertainer doesn't mean to hurt you. He doesn't mean a word of what he says. Don't take him seriously at all. They're always late. Even if they try to be on time, they will definitely be late. But for the perfectionist, time is everything. Time measures up to respect. So in my family, they have accommodated me by giving me the grace period always. 15 minutes, because she's going to be late, let's just accept this about her. So you need to know this, that they do mean well, but it's very tough for them to make it on time. And don't spare them any praises and presents. They thrive on compliments and they thrive on presents. So you can shower them with that and they will always be happy. Only when someone's cup is full can they actually pour tea into your cup. If they are hungry and starved for their emotional needs being fulfilled, they will not be able to give you what you need. The perfectionists, on the other hand, must realize that they hurt easy. So they should work on them emotionally. Don't take everything to heart. If you feel bad, dust it off quickly. Don't take it deeply inside. Learn to handle your pessimism, and my entertainers learn to handle our perfectionist pessimism. Perfectionists actually see the glass as half empty. And so if you bring them any new information, they're constantly going to say no, and they'll instantly say no. So you should give them the new information and exit so that they have time to process it and include it in their schedules. Time is of essence to them, like I already said, but give them lots of silence. So they're married to this chaos house, the entertainer who loves all the loud noises, who loves all the chaos. They listen to loud music, they talk loudly. So our entertainers gift your perfectionists some silence. They thrive on silence. They reboot on silence. They enjoy silence. So give them that space and silence, and also compliment them sincerely. No fake compliments. Only if they did the job, appreciate that. If you compliment them falsely, then they overthink about that. Oh my God, why did they say that? Do they want me to do this? I didn't actually do that. So you'll put them in a spiral of thoughts. Only compliment when they do something. Next is the relationship of the controllers and the peaceful souls. Now, if you're in a relationship of the controller, simply give them the control. And if you are a person who wants control yourself, then make sure you demarcate clear areas. This is your area of control and this is mine. Like I always try to tell people in the house, let me take the decisions for the kids. But my husband also wants to do that, so then we have a little tussle about it. So give the controller the control of their area. And if you have something to say about it, then appreciate their viewpoint. I hear you, I see that's really interesting, but here's something I want to say to you. And speak in bullet points. They don't have the patience to listen to the entire conversation. And know that there is just one way with the controller, the right way. So they're always right. Take it from me, if you believe it, your relationship is definitely going to work. With the peaceful souls, you need to understand that they need loving motivation to achieve their goals. You need to give them gentle pushes. The peaceful souls are not pushy people, and hence they don't like people pushing them. So give them gentle pushes, real loving motivation, really take care of them, and they will actually be able to set goals for themselves. They'll be able to achieve more in life. What you also need to know is they are not enthusiastic. So when you come up with a new idea, they're not going to jump at it. They're going to be frightened by it. And they're going to take time to come to that space with you. So give them time to feel enthusiastic about it. And don't expect too much of it as well. Insist on decision making. You have to help them with this. You have to make them practice it. Don't take them to Baskin-Robbins and say, choose a flavor of ice cream. They'll be lost. Take them to Baskin-Robbins and say, choose between vanilla and strawberry, chocolate or strawberry. Make it easy. Allow them to take decisions. Insist on it. Our controllers are quick to act on it. They will take all the decisions really fast because they are actually decision makers. But the controllers need to give them that space to take their own decisions. And lastly, don't blame them if you do something wrong. Controllers are very fast. If things go out of hand, blame it on the peaceful soul because they can't handle conflict, they'll accept it. So don't do that because somewhere you're damaging their self-respect and self-worth, and that in turn will damage your relationship. So lastly, our differences are not really to be tolerated, but to be celebrated. We are together because we are different from each other. We're together because my bundle of strengths complement your weaknesses and your strengths complement mine. It's only this relationship of complementing each other that actually makes the marriage work, that actually makes any relationship work. So if we were two controllers in the marriage together, it would be very hard. We would both be fighting for control. We would be both fighting for opportunities, and it would be much tougher. But because of the differences that we have, because of us being opposite, we complement each other's needs. One wants control, one doesn't want control at all. Hence, it works. Marriages need work, relationships need work. You have to be mindful of it. And this science of personalities can truly help you understand what you actually need from this marriage, what you need from your partner, what your partner needs from you. And hence, I feel this is the most powerful tool to truly understand yourself and the relationship you're in. And you can all enjoy beautiful marriages and the togetherness that it brings. Thank you.